What's up, YouTube? It's NG, the Neon X, and I'm back. Today, I'd like to further discuss what I'd like to see from a Surface Duo 2. I know I kind of hit on it in a past video where I mainly concentrated on the camera bump. But after much thought and seeing what they have been able to accomplish with the Z Fold 3, a very nice phone, by the way, I put together a little list of what I feel the Duo 2 needs in order to properly compete with the other top tiers in this foldable category. So with that said, this is what I'm into.
Now everybody scream enough respect to the X. Enough respect given.
But we all know I love my Surface Duo. It's not even a question how much this phone has grown on me to the point where it has become pretty much my daily driver. But to use this phone, there are many compromises that need to be made to fully enjoy the device. There are many things that Microsoft left out with this first iteration of this dual screen device. And I think in the second Duo, most, if not all of them, should be addressed in some way to make the next Duo a real contender. First, better camera. But not just better camera placement. So, the picture that we saw, again, I'm not going to dwell, had a bump, or a camera bump, on the back of the Duo 2. How authentic this actual picture is, I don't know. Personally, I no longer feel it is as authentic as they made it out to be, but it just doesn't make sense. The camera bump on the back of the Duo would stop the Duo from being a Duo. You would lose the ability, pretty much, to close your device flush, to easily take pictures when you want them, because if the bump is here, you're unable to take the picture when you open your device, because it's going to cover the bump. It just doesn't make any sense. So what I had proposed was to keep all the amazingness that is probably in that bump and put it, my notes, and put it right where the regular camera is. All the super amazing camera amazingness in that bump needs to live there. Now, one of my subscribers had another idea which didn't even cross my mind. Put the additional camera on the other side, and his logic was, when we fold the Duo, it's natural to just fold the left side over, which places the more powerful camera in the perfect position to take the shot. So the phone should know as soon as you fold the camera over, it's taking an external shot, not a selfie shot. And then when you want, if they do it this way, this side is the selfie camera. It negates the need to have software to know how the phone is facing. No need to use the gyroscope to tell the camera which way to shoot. Put an additional camera on the other side. I think it is a very unique idea, and for a phone that does have dual screens, you could really decide which camera or which side you want to use to take whatever shot and not have to rely on software to let the device know what it thinks you're trying to do. Give the Duo its own pen. This pen is nice, it works, it's ergonomic, so they say. Personally, I like the feel of a rounded pen, but this doesn't feel bad in the hand at all. I do like the way you can flip it over and actually erase. But at the same time, with every other pen, you just press the button and you don't have to flip over anything. It just erases what you wrote. But the whole point is, give the Duo its own pen, because this has a little trick where it will magnetize to the Duo. That is not something that was meant to happen. It just happened to work that way. But for someone like me, I put the Duo in a belt case. And when I have this case here, this pen does not properly fit in the case. Why? Because the case has this little lip and the pen always gets hit right off. Now the bumper here would be an ideal spot to put the pen, but the pen doesn't magnetize properly to it, but it's a piece of rubber. It just doesn't happen. Now I could take off the bumper and risk exposing my Surface Duo to danger, but I would be able to stick the pen comfortably on the back, and it might even look kind of like as a little bridge for the case. But that is not the case. What Microsoft needs to do is, this bumper has a lot of space in it. Instead of putting a camera hump back here, use the bumper as maybe a type of case for a Surface Duo pen. It can slide right into the bumper, slide right out of it, and you'll have somewhere to put a unique pen for the Duo. Personally, I think it would work great. It would give the bumper dual purpose: hold the pen, protect the Duo. Because the Duo is so thin. We know that you're not going to build any kind of stylus that is going to fit in something that thin. Not something that someone can easily hold or comfortably hold and write with. But the bumper has a little thickness to it. Even if you make it a little thicker than that to hold the Surface pen, I think many people, or at least me, I would not mind if that is where the pen was held. So I always had a usable writing device for the Duo, a device that works well with pens. Next, 12 gigs of RAM. That just seems to be the number all these foldable flagships are going with. I think that number would work very well with the Duo because it has 2 screens to contend with. Sometimes it takes a while to get itself going, because right now I think it has what, 6 gigs of RAM. I think it's 4, 6, something like that, maybe 8. I truthfully I don't remember. But it's not enough to keep the entire thing going smooth and going from one screen to the other. There are hiccups that occur. Things don't open as fast as they could. Things don't switch as easily as that they could. And that's all because of everything going on in the memory. Sometimes it takes time for the device to catch up with what you're trying to do. Give it some more RAM. Let it be a bit more quick to flip through each screen, a bit more quick to activate whatever app you are trying to activate, just so you know an end user like myself doesn't have those extra nano seconds to wait to get into the app he or she is trying to get into. They can get things done as they need to. Next on my little list here, better battery, or more optimized battery. I know that they said this has a battery on each side and they linked them through some special process through the hinge and the hinge placements here, and that's all good and dandy. But the truth of the matter is, the Duo cannot easily get through a full day of heavy use. Right now, my Duo is down to 21%, and as you can see, the time is 3:23. Now, my Duo has been in use since maybe 8 o'clock this morning, but I only get to use the Duo between runs. It hasn't been consistent like that, but when I got my turn, I would check my emails, I made some calls, I sent some emails, some messaging, watching a show or two. And this should get me home with next to nothing left. Now, if I had anything to do other than the basics that I was doing today, the power would be even less. I don't know if you can fit a larger battery into this slim profile, but if you could optimize the battery that much more to know what to turn on and off, put certain things to sleep, just to eke out more power for this device, that would be great. Because all the devices I have, though they're not dual screen, would have maybe half their power left by this time doing the same thing. The battery on the Duo simply isn't the best at, I guess, optimizing itself for daily tasks. I know that Microsoft is good at this because these Surface PCs are pretty good on battery life, at least from what I've seen. They just need to apply that tech to the Duo's dual battery setup, and it would be great. Next on the list, larger display and 120 Hz refresh rate per display. Now, this isn't going to change how one uses the Duo, but a larger display is just that, a larger display, more screen real estate to take in what you're trying to take in. It's just nicer to have more space to see what you're trying to see. But the 120 Hz refresh rate would make it seem like things are moving smoother, like it's running faster. It could be running the same rate, but simply because the screen moves so smooth, to the eye, like, wow, that's just amazingly fast. Things just look better at a higher refresh rate, at least most things. And I watch shows on my Duo, I do edits on my Duo, I write on my Duo, and when I do those same things on, let's say, my iPad Pro with its 120 Hz refresh rate, it just appears to do it so much cleaner, so much nicer on the eyes when you look at it. There's no reason why the Duo couldn't have dual 120 Hz refresh rate displays. So Microsoft, do that. That is what the top tiers have. It's common enough that for you to do it wouldn't seem too extravagant. And I know that a lot of people, myself included as always, would be very happy to have this as an addition to their amazing device. Next on the list, we talked about the display, now the sound. The Duo, as it stands, has a single firing speaker up top right here. It does get loud enough. It can get even louder if you apply certain apps. Check out my other videos. I do go into how you can adjust the sound on the Duo. But in all truth, we want better sound on the Duo. But I feel Microsoft should do, when designing the new one, is put a speaker on the top and bottom of each screen. There goes your quad sound right there. But having it on the top and bottom allows it, so when you flip your screen over and you're watching Netflix or Hulu or whatever, it's now the left and right channel for superior stereo sound. If you happen to be watching a video like this, there are some things that do work well with a bar in the middle, like say a debate where there's a person on each side going at each other. Some gaming tournaments, I do like to watch gaming tournaments, so something like ARMS, where you see what each player is doing. It does work well with 2 screens. So for something like that, I have my Duo this way with both screens, and having the 4 screens, one on each side, would give me that surround sound or that quasi surround sound, which would really allow me to get engulfed in the audio. So 1 speaker, top and bottom of each screen would be great, and I think it would really stand out, especially when compared to the single 5 speaker of the original Duo. Now, as for endurance, IP rating of some sort. If Samsung was able to make the Galaxy Z Fold 3 water resistant to an extent, and that has a folding display and a hinge that when bent exposes the interior chips in the slice of ways, Microsoft can surely make the Duo water resistant, but this doesn't have a bending display or that type of hinge. Now, I don't plan on taking this to the pool or anything along those lines, but a splash of water like we're having to my pen, those accidents do happen. And making this water resistant would just give Duo 2 owners just peace of mind that, hey, you know, water will not damage my expensive and unique piece of equipment. A peace of mind goes a long way to having your customer feel a sense of security with their device. Along with that, get rid of the glass. The Duo's front and back is made of Gorilla Glass. I think it's Gorilla Glass, whatever name or number that they assigned to it this time around. Well, or last time around. I think now it's called Gorilla Glass Victus. Right. But Gorilla Glass doesn't always work. I should know. Under this bumper, my Duo is cracked. I don't know how it cracked. I don't know when it cracked. But when I was changing my white bumper to this nice grayish blue bumper, underneath the bumper itself had a crack. And it's not a large crack, but it does kind of span from the back, if I remember correctly, and it goes kind of around here. Now, I didn't drop the phone, as far as I know, and the bumper and this was on, so I could actually see when it happened. But the point is, it did happen. And the crack is because it's made of glass. The Duo's front and back do not need to be made of glass. It can be made of a hard plastic material. I think the Note 10 or the Note 20 is made of glass. It's made of that very nice, smooth plastic. That would work just fine for this. Maybe, I think the Fold 3 is made out of some kind of aluminum, a type of metal. I mean, it's not going to crack, right, at least to my knowledge, when it drops, or whatever happened to my Duo whenever it happened. Glass looks nice, it feels nice, but in all truth, most people are going to put some kind of cover, like I did, just to maybe spruce up how their Duo itself looks. You can have your plastic or your metal in any color you want, but glass is just one more thing we have to worry about when it comes to the durability of Duo. The inner screens are more than enough glass for us. We don't need the back, which has no reason to be glass at all. Make this a more durable material, so that's one less concern for us as Duo owners. Now, this one is kind of personal to me. Storage expansion. Most of these things do not have expandable storage anymore. They want you to buy the device with the higher gigs. This has 128 gigs. There's one with 256, which is 512, but I think it's 56. So surprisingly, there's none with 512 gigs. At least I don't think there is. Now, before things were like that, you could buy a memory card and expand the storage yourself. Microsoft needs to do that. The Duo is pretty much a mini computer. With a computer, you can buy more storage if you need to. Now, the Duo will not work well with a portable hard drive or anything like that. I mean, it would, you plug it in, it will be able to read the hard drive, but most people don't want to carry that around on their person. That would be kept in their bag, in their pocket, whatever the case might be. But if you have files that you want to carry around and you don't want them in the cloud, they're personal files, they're your hardware, you want no chance of anyone anywhere seeing or somehow hacking into what you're getting to, you would store it on an SD card, something along those lines, and keep it directly on the phone. It just makes sense. Some people take photographs. Now, they might not take photographs with the Duo, but they might edit them on the Duo, so they can use the dual screen ability to have their photo on one side and the edit on the other, and be able to adjust as they see fit. And they might not want this amazingly large photo on the device itself, because that's taking up space the Duo just probably don't have. But if it's on a SD card, you slip your SD card into the Duo. You can put it right here. You know what? Most people even have the SD card in the same slot as the SIM card. Put it there, and this allows people to expand their memory as they see fit for whatever they're doing. It only makes sense. Why would that not be a key feature? PCs, you can expand your storage, you can add, you can take away. The Duo is a very close to my heart portable PC in its own way. Or the Duo can be used by many as a PC in that same way. Allow for expandable storage. Don't be like the others who want to force you to buy the version with more storage. I might not want whatever I'm working on to be stored directly on the phone. I might want to be able to move it easily from one device to the other without having to plug the phone into said device. You know, take out the card, plug it into a card reader, and you're good. Or take out the card and give the card to whoever wants the part that you're working on. No, there's no transfer via the cloud. The cloud is not always that secure, regardless of what Apple and Google and Samsung and all these people might say. The most secure way to transfer something is say, here, and you take it. Hand to hand, man to man, and he had what you did. You have a proud feeling of accomplishment, and you're good to go. So please, expandable storage on the next Duo. Well, that there was my list of physicalities I would like Microsoft to implement on the Surface Duo 2. I don't think it's much to ask for. I actually don't think it's that much when you think about it. It's only a few tweaks that Microsoft would have to do to allow the Duo 2 to have those things. And I don't think there is a Duo owner or potential owner that would not be very thrilled at the thought of having all of that on their next device. And all those things would do is bring the Duo 2 up to par and maybe a little further than most other flagships out there. There's nothing wrong with being on the same level as your competition, but it's even better to be better than them. With that said, my name is NG, the Neon X, and discussing the Duo and the potential of the Surface Duo 2, this is what I'm into.